And I didn't necessarily look like I had the potential to be a tattoo artist. So sometimes you just have to do things that make you uncomfortable in order to grow a little bit.
I still remember that chick that when she had like the tryouts and she poked the ink and it splattered her in the eye.
If you guys want to see the fucking old school tattoo, que tener una persona al lado que en verdad lo apoya a uno también y que quiera salir con uno. I never had to build mine, I never had to fucking build my own needles and shit. I feel like you went through that old school process. Esa parte viendo yo, por eso soy solo, marica.
Hey, welcome to Select Tattoo Live. We got a special one for you today. It's incredible. I've been following this artist for so long. Everything from Ink Master, even like Runway. I mean, crazy. She's been doing crazy stuff right now. It's everything you want in an artist. She's really hustling super hard. We have Tatu Baby today.
Hey there, how you doing?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
It's incredible. She's been doing so much. I mean, I've been following this artist for so long. I mean,
Terrence, you forgot about us?
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
let me flow and I'll meet you in. I'm trying to be a gentleman right now.
yeah,
I'm just kidding, bro.
Okay, yeah, I got defensive right now. My bad.
No, but Tatu, welcome to the show. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Obviously, you're in town for the convention that we have going on.
Yes.
But man, I mean, like Terrence said, we've been following your career for as long as I can remember. Of course, Master was one of the first times that you came into the scene here. I mean, geez, it feels like it's been forever, but you know, Ink Master to me is one of those, you know, shows that you go on and you just like kind of put on the TV and you kind of watch artists grow as they go through that. Yeah. Like, you know, obviously being the, I mean, I don't want to go ahead and, you know, be so upfront and say that that was the thing that put you on the map, but like, what would you say as far as like tattooing wise, like being on Ink Master, like, what was that coming up and like becoming such a personality in the tattoo industry?
I tell this to everyone that Ink Master was very life-changing for me. Not only artistically, but personally. I definitely grew a lot and, you know, it definitely put my art more on the world map.
Yeah.
I've been blessed to have a lot of great opportunities because I was on the show. So I will forever be grateful.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. And I mean, we can only see what's, you know, in front of the cameras. We can't see what's behind the cameras, but like you would say that experience really, not only did it elevate you and put you on the map, but like, would you say it was a very positive thing in your career?
Absolutely. It was the most positive thing for my career. And it was also one of the hardest things that I've done in my life.
That's another point. Yeah. Cause I mean, I would imagine, you know, you have judges who are constantly critiquing, you know, and constantly like nitpicking everything you're doing as far as tattooing. And for us who are tattooing clients left and right, we don't have judges to like critique us and
you don't have that hate either.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We don't have those people that are, you know, they're fans or they're not fans. You know, they're not judging it based on what you're doing.
But sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
So I think that was, you know, it was very tough to have someone, because as artists, we're very passionate and prideful with what we do.
Yes, we are.
So it hurts us when someone tells us we did something wrong in our art, but at the same time, it just helped me grow so much.
Okay.
Like I said, artistically and personally, it was very challenging. And if I had to do it all over again, I would.
Absolutely. You know, and I get asked here and there, like, would you ever do a Ink Master? Oh yeah, are you kidding me? Hell yeah, it's fun. It's just, it's an experience. Of course, it's not like the, you know, the you know, the peak of tattoo industry, but it is fun. It's something that you want to do and experience. You know what I mean? I feel like it will propel your career in such a way.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble because you don't know what you're gonna encounter when you get there. Because I still remember that chick that when she had like the tryouts and she poked the ink and it splattered her in the eye. Like, it's hard to come back from that. You know what I'm saying? You're the chick forever. You know, when they go back and they looking at the season, you're the chick that like, man, you can't even open up your ink. Like, you're a master? No way. You know?
Sometimes things happen. I think that you just have to kind of like laugh at it yourself too.
But do people know that? Do people know, you know, they looking at us as like celebrities. You know what I'm saying? If you have like the ink thing, and can you come back from it or no?
I think absolutely. I think there's things that I did on the show a lot of things that I was like, why did I do that? Why did I wear that? Why did I say that? I'll give you guys like a great example.
All right.
I'm Colombian, right?
Yep.
So I grew up in a I grew up in a household where we curse a lot.
Yep, same here.
Madre colombiana.
Yeah.
Right? So when I went on Ink Master, I had to learn how to communicate without profanity. So a lot of times I wanted to say something very mean and bad, and I would be like, big ball of idiot. And then and I'm like, why did I say that? So I think I at least it's safe to say that I feel like I had a lot of embarrassing moments. But that's part of life. You just
Absolutely.
Grow from it and move on.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know, you have a tattoo studio in Florida.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've had a few artists here and there, like, you know, come up, and I think it was who was it, Diego?
Diego was there at one point.
Yeah, at one point. I mean,
Ig and Roberto were there.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, your shop is, I mean, obviously very well known in Florida and stuff like that. What does it take to have such a consistent shop, in order, a successful shop, one that, I mean, I'm sure you've seen our market right now, our culture in tattoo industry is very saturated.
It is.
Well, what would you say would be such a very positive thing to a tattoo parlor to keep it afloat, to keep it fresh, to keep it, you know, going? What would you say would be one of the positive things about, or very, you know?
This is actually a subject matter that I've been talking about a lot about lately with artists, because it is an era right now where I think that it's a little more struggling times.
Yeah, it is.
I think that not only in the tattoo industry, and this is just my personal opinion, in a lot of different industries, things always change and things always evolve and things always shift. And what was like a certain way of doing music at a certain time,
right,
that changes.
Always does.
Know, what was in style at a certain time, that changes. And I know that it's very difficult when you're passionate about something to change, but I think that if you do want to be successful, you have to be a little open to kind of going with where the wave is kind of going. And one thing that I study a lot now is social media, is content. And now it's not just post your tattoo how it was before and have all these likes and all these clients. We have to put so much more effort now. So that's an advice that I give a lot of the artists that work with me, is now you just...
It's not about tattooing, like just tattooing.
That's why when I opened up, I was putting you on. I was saying, I know that you're doing all these different ventures. You know, you did the runway in 2023, and you were in Miami and did that, and then you opened up a shop last year, right, in Tampa.
So I have the shop in Miami, and then I just opened a shop.
That's what I'm saying. So you've always had the shop in Miami, and so you're doing all these different things, and that's what I was saying. Like, you're doing, not just focusing on one shop and trying to do all your social media and stuff, focus on one thing. You're branching out. You're starting to be, like you said, open-minded about how your brand is. You're not just doing tattoo. You are, maybe you point back to that, but you have other things about your personality that points back to something that could benefit, you know?
I can understand as an artist just wanting to focus on your art, but I like to study not only, like I said, not only tattoos, but other businesses. And sometimes you just have to do things that make you uncomfortable in order to grow a little bit.
Right.
For example, like I used to not like TikTok. I'm not a dancer.
The same. I'm sorry.
I'm not funny. So, at least I didn't think I was. But, you know, it's just like I said, you got to see what's trending, where the wave is. And a lot of the artists that I do see that are doing kind of good right now are on TikTok. Have been on TikTok for a while. So things changed. There was MySpace days.
Right.
Then it became Facebook, and then we had to shift and put our artwork there. And then after Facebook, there was Instagram, and we had to shift and do our portfolio there and see how that system worked.
Yeah.
And we depend on social media now to reach out to so many, like put our work out there for a lot of clients.
Right. Yeah. I've seen the last one, right? So the newest one that I've seen is that one where it's like, it's a Halloween thing. It's like my coochie, whatever.
Oh my God.
What?
That, Brad, maybe you not seen that, but it's a thing. Y'all need to stop. We know what we talking about.
I don't know what
I know you don't. Don't try to act like I'm crazy. No, she knows. Tell him.
So it was very difficult for me to get into TikTok, but once I did, that's it. I'm hooked on there. I do all the trends. My life, I have a lot of responsibilities. So I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I do like to do the videos because it's fun for me.
Right.
I don't tell other artists, and I tell this to the artists in the shop. You don't have to do funny dances or any of that stuff. I do it because I like it.
Like
it's fun. It's fun to me. But there's other avenues that you can do that can showcase who you are. And
Yeah, for us was the podcast actually.
Absolutely, yeah.
We just gotta find a way for to put our face out there and to show people who we are.
Right.
There's many different ways. You don't have to be funny.
Exactly.
You know?
And see, that's another thing. And it's a good point that you brought that up, the TikTok and the dances and stuff like that. Cause like, at least for me, whenever I first started tattooing and stuff, Instagram was still new. And you would post a picture, all of your followers would see it. You would get 400, 500, 1,000, likes, whatever. You post a picture nowadays, you're lucky to get even 100 or 50, whatever likes, right? If it's a good picture.
because now it's all about reels.
Exactly. Instagram was the first thing. Then TikTok came in. TikTok took over by doing all the reel or videos, all that stuff. Instagram came over as like, hey, TikTok ain't taking us. We're going to do reels. So, and for me, I'm like, I love what I do. I love tattooing. I love doing all these pieces, but fuck, man, I don't want to be a content creator. I want to just be an artist. I want to be able to put my stuff out. So it is such a challenging point to be able to put your work out there without having you to put yourself out there in that way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And it's so hard because, for Jose's a great example of this. Jose posts every fucking blue moon. But, his work is fucking phenomenal, top tier. And Jose posts every blue moon. But Jose, is consistently booked, consistently, having clients. He doesn't have to do a fucking TikTok dance or any of that. His is more about quality over anything else. And I feel like that's kind of overlooked in today's society. You have these up and coming artists and, apprentice and whatever who look at it as like, oh, I can make cool content. I can start tattooing.
No.
I mean, yeah. It's like,
No.
but not really. You know what I mean? And it's hard. And I know a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, you're fucking judgy. I'm sorry, but tattooing is more about, for me, it's about art, creating art, for creating something unique. It's not about flowing with the social media wave.
So I like that you say that because this is definitely something that I read a lot about online. And I think that you should always do what's in your heart to do. If you are passionate about your art and you're not into the dances and all of that, that's cool too. Focus on that.
Right.
But if you like it, then use it to your advantage too. But just because you do content creation, that's not going to make you a great artist.
Right.
Yep.
And it's not about, at least to me, it's not about popularity. It never has been. I appreciate the platforms that I have been on, but I've always said to myself, like, no matter what, never let none of that get in my head and always focus on doing each tattoo better than the one I did the day before.
Absolutely.
So I could keep growing artistically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I be the bad guy?
No.
You are.
Can I? First of all, before you,
You're always the bad guy.
I agree. I know. I'm just that way.
All right, go ahead. Let me see.
But I'm telling you, I agree 100%. 100%. I agree. I'm more into the art than I've seen a lot of people be into the art. Right.
Yeah.
But I can understand, like, if there's so many people that are so good at their craft, how can the generation like improve how can you separate the people that are so good from the people that are so passionate and willing to like step outside of themselves and become something new, so the generation to come can process it? Because I feel like there's a bunch of people that draw very well, but are they willing to like get out of the comfort zone? Are they willing to grow as a person? So it's like tattooing is not just drawing. It's about being better because we serve people. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying with that.
It's just in like in a lot of industries that I study, it's the people who are successful are just the people that swim a little bit farther, a little bit deeper.
And that separates you, right?
Yes, I do. I do agree with that. One of like the smartest quotes that I read one time was, it said, "You sell the brand, not the product."
Yep.
Right. So it's a little bit difficult when you just want to just show your tattoo art. But if you do want to stand out a little bit more, it does help for people to know who are they getting tattooed with.
True.
Because at the same time, you're doing a tattoo on somebody for 8 hours. That is, and this is me just being more spiritual, but your energy is really working with this person's skin and is going to be on them forever.
Yeah.
So the way that a lot of people feel is, I want to relate with the person that's going to tattoo me, so
absolutely
I can feel more comfortable.
100%.
And that's where I feel like it helps to showcase who you are on your pages.
Yeah. I'm completely agreeing with you on as far as like, conveying the same energy and, kind of connecting with your client.
Yeah.
I'm also on the side of like, when it comes to social media, social media can be not real. We can all agree social media is not real. You can put up whatever front you want. You can put up whatever mask you want, and you can, sell that to the world. If you sell it, great. That's what it's for. But when it comes to tattooing, I think tattooing, it's not just a tattoo. It's a service. It's a whole entire thing. It's a rapport. You're building that relationship with a client who, let's be honest, like you said, you're tattooing them permanently. Something on their body. They have to trust you 1000%. Whenever they come in, if you don't match their energy when it comes to those same vibes, how am I supposed to feel comfortable with you putting something permanent on my skin, right? So at the same time, I agree. You have to be able to showcase yourself and your persona on social media, but I think that the people that come back to you constantly when it comes to tattooing you, I think that's when it really matters. Whenever you're here, whenever you're sitting in a chair, you're talking, conversating, it's therapy. Believe it or not, people who sit in our chair, it's therapy. Like, they tell me their life story and I'm conversating right back. But that connection it has to be strong, because if you don't have that connection with your client, how are they supposed to trust you with something so permanent?
How beautiful will it be for you to just have a camera recording to showing that aspect of you? Because I'm a woman, right? And I'll use barbershops as an example, because barbershops and tattoo shops are kind of similar.
Right.
They're intimidating places, So if I see, a barber online and I have to take my son and I see the environment of the place is more like a safe, welcoming, a respectful vibe.
Of course.
Then I already feel like comfortable to go there. So I love when I do see the videos and the content with the artist just interacting with the client naturally.
Yes.
Not like a skit or anything, just a natural conversation about the tattoo. I love seeing that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I think about what you were saying. For us, it's easy to forget that the client who's coming today to get tattooed has been waiting for this for a while.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is probably one of the couple times that he's gonna get tattooed this whole year. For example. For us, it's just another client.
Yeah.
But we don't want to forget about that.
Exactly. We don't want to overlook that, because it's to us, it's another day of work. It's another day of, making a design, something permanent on another person. To them, they've been waiting for this for months or, weeks or whatever.
It's tough. It's tough to refresh your brain. I think it's unfair to say that someone that does something every single day and does it at a high quality,
right,
that they don't go on autopilot. You know, I'm not saying that's right, but you got to understand, like, man, if you're focusing on the art, it is a little easy to kind of go into autopilot and think about lines and shades, you know, and kind of forget about the relationship. That's what I was saying earlier about it's important that you put your face in front of there so they know your personality, so they know that you're not a person that cares about just the tattoo.
Right.
When they come in and you get tattooed by them, sometimes we've seen the OGs do that. The old people, they kind of get left behind. They're like, they're not really like catering to the person. They're more like, get the job done. You know, not, you know, talking bad about anybody. But man, to be motivated and have the heart to serve people, do your craft at a high, you know, quality is like.
Well, that's a good point, Tatu Baby. How long have you been doing this in the industry now?
So I did my first tattoo when I was 14.
Ooh,
I know. When I can't even count the years right now.
so you're 18 now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so 4 years.
4 years. You know,
You'll be tattooing longer, Brandon.
We could add a 3 to that.
No, cut that out. Cut that out. But
How was starting for you?
Starting for me, and I was actually talking about this the other day with a client. It was very different, very, very different for what it is now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, when I first started, I was 14 years old. There was no tattoo TV shows. There was shops that, you know, you picked the flash out of the wall. So I started as a hobby, right? At the point where I wanted to be taken more serious, I felt like there wasn't a lot of female tattoo artists at the time, and there wasn't a lot of Latinos at the time. And I didn't necessarily look like I had the potential to be a tattoo artist. So it was hard for me. I remember I went to South Beach. I stopped by like 8 shops and I had my portfolio, and not one shop opened my portfolio to look at.
What were they doing? Were they just like flipping by?
I just asked, you know, if they were hiring apprentices or artists, and I said, I have my portfolio if you want to take a look at it, and they just said no, sorry, right now, not at the moment. So I believe in apprenticeships, but it was very difficult for me to get one. It was different times back then.
Yeah.
And then TV shows started coming out, and so many more female tattoo artists and Latinos. And I feel like
it became mainstream.
Yes, it came a more like open industry,
right?
You know. But at first, it was difficult. I feel like I had a rougher start. I think there's people that just are so talented from the beginning.
There is a lot.
Yeah. I feel like I wasn't. I knew that I wanted to be, and I had to work double to get to where I am now. So I also understand that's why I wasn't taken as serious, but that just made me want to work harder.
Right.
You know, for it.
It's what they say, right? You know, hard work beats talent every day. And, you know, back in the day, it took you so long to get an apprenticeship. And I still believe in apprenticeships.
I do.
You know, especially now in, you know, our market is so saturated that anybody can look at something on social media and be like, oh, I can do that. I can get popular. I can do this crazy cool reel and, you know, video and, you know, pop off. Yeah, but that's not, you know.
I wish it was that way, man. Nobody else's craft, especially a craft like us where it's like so important.
Right, man.
Nobody handles tattooing the way that they handle any other craft.
Yep.
And it drives me nuts sometimes because it would take care of all of the problems that we have. It would be a protected craft that's super important. I mean, look at the things that we deal with. We deal with people's issues. We have to be super like careful about what we do. We have to be sanitary, all these different issues that a lot of things are compartmentalized in other crafts.
Right.
They have to be neat and careful. They don't have to worry about therapy like a doctor, you know? We have to be everything, you know? But it's not regulated the same way because our history is different.
Right.
And it drives me crazy because us as people that take it serious and people that want to like pass this down to our kids, we would be able to pass this down. It would be super important, but it's not considered that way because it's not regulated the same way as other things.
Yeah.
You know?
Times have changed. Definitely times have changed.
I do believe from being a self-taught artist, that it took me so much longer to learn certain things. I strongly believe in apprenticeships.
Yeah.
Do it the right way from
Absolutely.
the beginning. And for example, like me, it would have cut so many years. I would have, gotten started a lot faster.
Right.
Doing great tattoos. And now I do see a lot of artists that are self-taught, and I see it myself. They're missing a lot of fundamentals in their work.
Yep.
So
Yeah, and just like you said earlier, it took you 8 tries to get into a shop. It took me 8 tries to get into a shop too.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, man.
Yes, sir. It took me 8 tries to get into a shop, and by the 8th try, they finally, we're like, Mike Love, you can't see him on the camera. One of my best friends, he's back there.
Yeah,
Love,
Mike
the camera right there. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
So my best friend Mike Love, he was like, bro, we have to get you in a shop. This is the last shop. This is called the Golden Needle. It was in the Irving Mall, a mall. And I was like, I really don't want to go there, but that's my last try. I need to. So I went, gave me a shot. They were like, come back Monday, we'll give you a shot. After that, snowball effect. I kind of started picking up, but I couldn't learn anything else from YouTube. I couldn't learn. I was DMing all these artists like, hey man, like what needle using, what this. That didn't mean shit to us at the time, you know what I mean? Like once you finally get the apprenticeship, you learn what a buck pin needle is, a regular needle like mag and everything is, like you said, it's needed. It's needed, especially in today's market with all how saturated it is. You want to do it the right way. And I think it's very important. So for those who are watching, if you want to pursue this career, no discouragement. Please do it. It's fun. It's a career that's gonna love you back if you love it, but do it the right way.
And you have to love it. You said that, but you have to love it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And can I just say one more thing about that? There's more than tattooing. There's more in tattooing than just learning how to tattoo.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're in the shop. You're learning other people's culture. You're learning other people's personalities. You're learning how to get along with people. You're learning how to serve people. You're learning how to take care of your craft.
Yep.
How to keep yourself motivated. I think so many people are looking at YouTube and learning how to tattoo, and they just get in a shop or whatever,
Yep.
But there's more to it,
I think there's different like ethics and rules in tattooing too. And then you can see it with artists that are more like self-taught that don't know certain things. Like we have little like hidden rules, I guess, from old school tattooers. I grew up a lot on respect.
Yep.
So I have a lot of respect for a lot of the artists that came before us.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Do you think because the culture, I know if you grow up a certain way, there's certain principles that you already know. You already know respect. If you come from a certain background, you already know discipline, respect, loyalty, all those things. But if you're like with the newer generation and you don't know, you maybe not brought up that way or whatever, tattooing could teach you that way. But if you don't have an apprenticeship and you just do great art and you come and whoever the bad shop owner is, they just want the money, there's no way to teach them that. You're not going to teach a grown person discipline, respect, loyalty.
Absolutely.
So how do you protect it?
There's certain ways that shops are ran, and not everyone, knows those things because they didn't do an apprenticeship. So, I know, like I know I explained that I didn't do an apprenticeship myself. So I don't want to sound like, I guess I'm being a hypocrite, but because I didn't do it the right way is why I so strongly believe in it. It took me so long. Like I'm speaking from my own experience.
Right. You see it from the other side.
Yes.
Yep. I completely, I see that point. And through everything that you've done, I mean, you've accomplished so much. And, once again, congratulations for accomplishing so much. And it's hard. It is hard, especially in our industry. It is hard to get to the point where you are. But, what do you feel is next for you? You've accomplished already a few shops, right? I don't know if anybody's asked you this, but like, what do you see in your future? You've already.
So I am at a point in my life where I kind of want to pay it forward now, which is I find as passionate as I am about tattooing, I'm passionate about seeing other artists grow.
Right.
So I love, having like a team and like pushing everybody to just keep growing. I'm also painting now, so that's something I want to focus on as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you feel like painting and, doing a, another artistic, outlet like that, obviously would contribute to tattooing, but do you think it's necessary for our craft and what we do?
I mean, I think that it's necessary to be artistic.
Okay.
And definitely the more that you draw and the more that you learn about, because tattooing is a technique, but then there's also the artistic part, and you need to develop that by drawing and by, trying different things. I'm not going to say necessarily painting, but if you paint, that would help you as well.
Is it like a necessity to like grow in our industry? Or would you say just tattooing alone, doing, having clients day to day, that would just get the same,
No,
results?
I think that you should definitely, if you're in the beginning of your career, you should be drawing a lot.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. And a lot of people do forget about that. They once they pick up the machine, they're like, oh, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Now you have AI, the whole. Personally,
that's gonna be a different animal, because that's kind of brand new right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are actually learning how to utilize that.
Not big time.
What I wanted to ask is super important. You're an entrepreneur, right? Mm-hmm. You're a woman. You worked your way from down all the way up to where you are now, right? I would like for you to tell me, and I want to include all the different ventures that you're kind of endeavoring in, like definitely I want to talk about a little bit more about when you were on the runway and stuff, not to put you on the spot.
Wait, what runway?
The runway, when you were in Miami 2023 and you did your first runway walk.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
Yeah.
You're like, I fucking forgot about that.
But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because there's a lot of female tattoo artists right now, and I know it seems like it's not about tattooing, but there's a lot of beautiful women that tattoo, and there's a lot of female shops right now that are probably going to watch this, and they want to know, maybe they're up and coming, maybe they want to do other things, and they want to kind of use this as something that's like beneficial to them, but they want to do other things. How are you able to like connect the dots? You're a tattoo artist, you want to do this fashion, how did you have that connect?
I don't know. I feel like you only have one life, so you have to do the things that you like to do. And not everybody thinks the same way. There's artists that are like, you should just only tattoo. But what if there's other things that you like? Like, I love fashion. When I would draw, when I was a little girl, I was drawing, fashion designs and clothes and houses and architecture. So I like a lot of different other things. So yes, I am a tattoo artist, but I'm also going to do the other things that I like. So if I like funny TikToks, I'm going to do it. I don't think that it makes me less of an artist, but I also know that if I am tattooing, I have to take it serious and put in the work for my work to consistently be good.
And what you did, to me, it looks, I mean, I don't think that way, to be honest. If I was a beautiful woman, I'm not, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll take it.
After a couple beers, yeah.
But I mean, dudes would do that if they could. They can't. You know what I mean? So you use that as a platform to raise your brand.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, man, there's other ways to bring attention to what you do. You do what you do very well, and then you can go into other worlds to promote yourself.
Yeah.
And you had to you knew the backlash was coming, because you're already knowing that because you're a woman in the field of predominantly men.
Yes.
And you're trying to like work your way up, but you also have other interests. So you use that as a way to promote yourself. So I think you got more followers, more respect, because it's something that you usually don't do. You're walking on the runway, Yeah. I thought it was cool to me.
I think that it was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
It's something that I wanted to try to do. But yeah, when it's a time to tattoo, it's time to tattoo. It's about,
Okay.
We're about this business.
You're more about that?
And yes, absolutely. Yeah. Because I like to do the other stuff for fun, but tattooing is my biggest passion.
Right.
So I don't want to, I'm not going to go do a runway show if I'm not dedicating time to my artwork. If I feel like my artwork is slacking, or I haven't been posting good work, then it's not time for me to be doing all that.
So it's priority.
Stuff. So my priority is my tattoos, and I always want to continue growing and being consistent with my art. I've always liked fashion.
Right.
I've always liked, like, I do love being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Selfies.
You're right.
You know, but my number one baby is tattooing.
I got you.
Absolutely.
If that's good, then I have time and I'll do all the other things.
And that's a good point. You know, your first love is always going to be tattooing. You know, art, tattooing. If there's any way you can be yourself, because I feel like a lot of us get into this little, you know, comfort zone where people don't want us to get out of because we're a tattoo artist. Tattoo artist. I'm more than a tattoo artist. You know, I love to play video games. I like to be athletic. I like to work out, and I like to do all these other things, man. It's more than just tattoos. And that's the beautiful thing about social media, is that I don't have to post just tattoos if I don't want to. You know what I mean? I can post myself, who I really am, and express myself. And I think that's what you did with everything that you've done so far. I'm a big football fan, you know, Dallas Cowboys. Sorry. But, you know, your husband, you know, Steelers fan, being all that, you know, I saw some of his content. I saw some of y'all's content, and you're just expressing yourself. You're just like being you, you know? And I think that's what social media is supposed to be. I don't think it's supposed to be about just promoting you.
That's what art is.
Exactly.
I was post some political stuff one day, right?
Right.
And this guy hit me up and he was like, man, I feel like you shouldn't be posting that stuff because it's tough time right now. And I'm like,
why not?
Bro, I'm not afraid. As an artist, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
You're
express
supposed
yourself.
to express yourself, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna show what I want to show, and if people like it, it's cool. If people don't like it, it's
There's that unfollow button right away.
What I learned very quick when I was young was there's always gonna be something that is said.
Always.
If you only post tattoos, because you only post tattoos. If you do this, because you did that.
Right.
That's why you have to follow your heart, and as long as you're doing things from a good place, you know, just do what you do what sets your soul on.
Yeah.
Right. What makes you happy, what really genuinely brings that, you know, the peace in you, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be fake and you don't want to be all that stuff. And I think that's a wonderful message for anybody who's trying to do this and anybody who wants to be on social media, you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, I can't even think of a better way to you express yourself when it comes to just being you on social media.
At the end of the day, isn't that what tattoos is?
100%.
100%.
Tattoos is an art form for us to express ourselves.
Right.
To be like rebellious and be like, this is me. You know?
That's right.
So
I want to say something before we finish, because it's crazy to think that you were so hard to get an apprenticeship, right? But the industry back then didn't realize how much you were gonna do for this industry.
Yeah.
Because being on one of those first couple seasons of Ink Master, we're clear that Ink Master was one of those things that opened tattooing for a lot of people.
Right.
So that people that say, "Oh, I'm not gonna teach you. I'm not gonna teach you. I don't want you," but
You can't stop it.
you did more for the industry than those people. you know?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's going to progress no matter what you do. You know? Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful message. Like, you know, follow your dreams, you know, no matter what, everybody's going to have an opinion. Express yourself. That's what we tattoo artists and tattoos itself means. Express yourself.
Exactly.
Be you. Enjoy your life. Like you said earlier, you said, we only have one life, and enjoy it. Why the hell am I going to worry about what this person and that person thinks? You know what I mean? So that's a wonderful message.
Exactly.
But, Tattoo Baby, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
No, it was been an honor. It's been an honor. Thank you for sharing all the insight. Thank you for allowing us to pick your brain a little bit here and there. You know, and thank you guys for, you know, showing some love, following the channel. We are going to go ahead and link all of her in Instagram, her, you know, do you have a YouTube by any chance?
yes, I have it all.
I hit it right in the head. There you go. We're going to go ahead and link all of her pages here and there. And thank you again so much for being here. We look
Thank you
forward
guys for
to
having me.
Thank you. Absolutely. We are looking forward to this weekend, and we will catch you guys on the next episode of Select Tattoo Live. Peace.
Oh.